Hello, and welcome to another episode of TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode number 775, coming to you live from somewhere, nowhere, Dallas, Texas. Yes, that is right. We were in Denver yesterday. We were in Dallas today, and yeah, we're actually going to be in Denver. We're going to be in Dallas for a few days. Then Saturday we head off to Las Vegas for Money 2020 and Tokenize. It is going to be a great time. And we hope that you guys are excited about it as well. One of the things that we are going to be talking with today, we're going to be talking with Cool Runnings, and we'll let him introduce his name once he hops on. He had to switch phones, we're going to be talking about some of the things building on Tron. Obviously, we're talking about Ape Chain, we're talking about Taco, we got to let people know that, we decided it is Taco Tuesday. Why did we make a taco token? Because our name is Taco. We were trying to have some fun, and then a lot of people started buying it, and all of a sudden we were like, it bought too quickly. We were trying to show you how to do it, and then it just sort of took off. And so that was the bad day, I think. No, not really a bad day in any way, shape, or form. But that is sort of where all of the fun started. And so we're going to go look at some of the analytics for Taco Token as where it stands right now, where we are at. We are looking at the chain. Earlier today, we were at 204 holders. We're at 228 holders right now. So that is pretty good, I think, and we made a Telegram group. Why did we make it? Because someone asked us to. And so that's what we did. We made a Telegram group, and that was that. So one of the things then from there, we've just sort of kept it going. We've had a nice little pump. We had a little pump today. We broke 30K. Man, I remember when that used to, when projects like 2020 were like, woohoo, we hit 30,000. That was heck, it's like 2015 vibes, 2014 vibes. And so as we've seen projects grow, we've had those ups and downs. One of the people that I want to introduce for a minute before we start going into things is I want to introduce the one and only Cool Runnings. We haven't really had a chance to talk too much. CR, how are you doing today? And he's on mute. Let's see if he gets off mute. Because we're going to talk a little bit about Tron and tacos. How is that not a bad thing? That is actually a good thing. It sounds like a good thing. But, we have Cool Runnings joining us once he figures the mute button in the bottom left side. And this came about completely on random. There he is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. How are you doing today, man?
Not too bad, bro. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm just in the office. I thought the servers would be in the background, but I guess it's not. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it is. It is not a bad thing. How many servers do you have going on behind you right now?
6.
Nice. What kind of units are you running?
Super micros.
Okay. Purpose?
Validators, a couple of things.
All right. Not bad. So you know, we run into that storage, the storage and that compute and that hardware issue. How are you guys? How much power are you guys using right now?
Electricity wise, I think I'm only like at like maybe 200 a month.
Okay,
Not bad. It's not.
not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I pay more for the internet.
Ah, yeah. What are you doing? One of their business packages, fibers?
Yeah, pretty much. Verizon's the best one.
Oh, that is the first nice thing I've heard about Verizon in a while.
I think they're the only ones that's put the most money into fiber optics. So everyone else is just competing with Verizon.
Yeah, and what's really hilarious, like, is a lot of people will say they have fiber, but like they're like fiber to a hub, and then they go to copper to distribute.
Well, if you notice, I've tried a couple of the providers here where I'm at, and I was just getting like a lot of like packet loss, just numerous things that happened in some of my validators, and I was like, what's going on? Why am I like getting jailed? And it's like we had to go like all the way through, like, is it my hard drives? So we started like just wasting money buying solid states. Like, well, it wasn't a waste, solid states are good, but we were just like knocking out errors off the list. Like, is it the hard drive? Is it the RAM? Is it this? What's going on? And it's like, it's your internet provider. So it's like, okay, time to switch. So we just switched to Verizon, and then we just stopped losing packets.
Nice. So for those that don't know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm one of the founders of Pros Venture, or Perspective, the brand. We're going to be launching a few, blockchain projects pretty soon. One of which is like in a soft launch is Perspective Comics right now. Our token's also already live, which is pretty much in line with how you're going to be minting NFTs pretty soon on the Perspective.world platform that we're going to be launching. Well, Perspective.world, the website's there now, but the minting, we're going through an audit right now. So once the audit's complete, then we'll be ready to kind of like launch things. But this has been in the works now for like almost 2 years. Just the NFTs alone took us a year and a half to like build, because it's a pretty huge collection, and it's going to be a blind mint when it launches, of course, on Tron. But it's bringing something else to the chain that we know hasn't been there in a while. A little bit of excitement, bringing back energy to the NFTs, of course. And this is just going to lead you down the rabbit hole. Of course, the comic book is telling a whole other story. The NFT is its own narrative, but the backstory to the NFTs, you kind of like get that from the comic book. So there's a story, there's a narrative, there's a plan, there's a purpose, there's like a direction. So once people kind of like find an angle, if they found us through the token, if they found us through the NFT, if they found us through the comic book, it's kind of like everyone's going to go down some rabbit hole at the end of the day and end up at the same ending, So the goal is to kind of like build out all of these products that we're trying to bring to market in a streamlined way. And one of the things we've just felt in the challenge was like development takes time, So a lot longer than we thought it would take for some of the things that we've been working on, just team-wise, understanding different things, new updates to the blockchain, and it just took a lot longer. But, we've persevered, and we're close to the end on one of them, and that's hopefully ready for NFT season pretty soon, which is, again, Pros Venture NFT. And that's, again, that's a whole other thing that we're going to be developing there as well, which is getting people to kind of like understand Tron through NFTs again. I don't really think a lot of people had that opportunity to kind of like dive into NFTs and understand what Tron's really about, or what makes NFTs fun on Tron, So this is kind of like going to be that narrative as well, is like making NFTs great again.
Yeah, and NFTs still hold a huge place. One of the difficulties I've sort of found with Tron, TVM is just a different little bit of a beast from EVM. And yes, it's just there's a lot of more, instead of things sort of like toolkits that fit things into place nicely, you sort of like have to like pull out the hammer or the rubber mallet and bang things into place. Have you seen that?
It's not really like it's kind of like that, but it's also like in terms of how do I put it? It's understanding like the capabilities that Tron has. I don't think the average person that's building a smart contract, not necessarily on a high level, but I don't think like the average dev is looking at the capabilities that Tron has to offer. I think they're more so faced with the current sentiment of the public, right? Of what's the public sentiment towards Tron or things of that nature. But I think once you actually come to Tron as a developer and really put things to test, you kind of like see like, okay, there's a huge advantage here for me to build in Tron. Not saying versus any other chain per se, but just saying why there's an advantage. And I just think that most people will kind of like see that as they find a need to use Tron. I don't think everyone knows how they need to use Tron per se, because again, a lot of the technical aspects. But I think
Yeah.
gradually it's just going to come to the forefront of there's many layer twos for cheaper transactions, but at the end of the day, it still has to be settled on that layer one. And Tron is that layer one that is already settling transactions pretty cheap, So I just believe gradually that public sentiment will change, and the use case of what Tron has to offer is already shown the test of time, right? Like Tron has been consistently just delivering for what it's really good at, which is stablecoin transfers, for as long as we've known, right? And the blockchain is still there. So I think it's just dominated stablecoins so much that people don't really look at Tron for how they would look at, Polygon or Solana, for example, when it comes to like just memes and NFTs. They don't even look at Ethereum that way when you really think about it. The same way they look at memes on Solana, right? Like Solana is meme country. Like you might have memes for sure on Ethereum, but when you say memes, everyone knows it's Solana, right? At the end of the day. So
Yeah.
but outside of memes, there's just still other things that the blockchain has to solve problems. There's problems that has to be solved outside of memes, and I just think that once we get back to the real world aspects as well, people are just going to see that, okay, this is the layer I should be using for this type of use case. I should be using this blockchain for this type of use case. So I think it's just going to be like a use case point at some level when the real world really starts to interact with blockchain in their daily lives. And I just think, again, Tron is not think, but with my conviction, I'm building on Tron as well. We're also multi-chain, but a lot of what we're building is going to be in Tron just for the cheap transaction settlement. And as you build out more products, you're just able to facilitate cheaper transactions for your users. So that's kind of like always been our premise, is to get towards zero transaction. And I know zero transaction fees. And I know that's something that's like embedded in Tron in the long run, is like, how do we get to that point? So again, not to get like all long-winded in this narrative, but I think people will come to Tron and really see the use case as newcomers come into the space again, and then just more use case that Tron has to offer. It's just gonna again, it's like a test of time. It's just Tron delivers, right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't fail. So if something is consistent, I don't see why it would stop being consistent if that's what it's known for already, right? So, and consistency is what wins at the end of the day. So I'm just gonna stay with that.
So like one of the things that I like, where Tron is more to me a non-American blockchain, to as I've seen it really get sort of pushed out, like mostly in like out like in Eastern Europe. It's
Yeah.
huge. It's especially USDT for payments back and forth. So that's sort of one of the really cool things with it. What Tron hasn't done the greatest, in my opinion, so far, is abstract away all of the blockchain from users. Like TronLink is super easy. Don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen a lot of like account abstraction or so like I haven't seen it on come out, and everyone wants it's hard for some people to understand the difference between energy, bandwidth, TRX, and then what really got a lot of people for a long time last cycle was all of the Tron scams. Do you remember those?
I'm always one to like. I think for me, I've been in the space long enough where it's like I don't. I'm just weary of just like everything, you know. So
Yes.
in the early days, I took losses, made mistakes. I kind of like did the Degen thing early before Degen was a Degen, right? So it's like I jumped into everything, you know, and I lost, I won, I lost, I won, and I just learned. So it's like even when those things were on Tron, I don't even think like I was affected by any of them because I was just
Yeah.
already learned, and it's kind of like I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like I'm developing, so it's like I'm building. So I wasn't really interacting too much because I'm behind the scenes, like doing research and just trying to like put things together, build a team to make sure we can actually bring this product to market. So it was never really a thing for me to kind of like just dive into everything once I already did it. You know, 2018, 17, like 19, like you did it then. So it's like you learn once, you learn twice. Like nothing's gonna happen overnight, you know?
Yeah. And well, so and to clarify for like the Tron scams that I was talking about was like it was exposing people to Tron by like there was like the seed phrase messages. Do you remember those?
Nope, I didn't get affected by any of that.
You never did you ever get one of those?
Nope.
Oh man, I love getting those because like I'd go watch those wallets. Like people would be like, "Oh, here's my seed phrase," and it was like frozen USDT, and um so like, but then people would be sitting there with just a micro amount of like TRX. So like, let's say like you needed like 1.7 TRX, and there was like point you know 5 in there or something like that. So people that are like, oh my God, I have the seed phrase, I have the wallet, I'm going to go send some in. And someone's sitting there on the other end of the wallet waiting for people to deposit. And they're just like pulling that out like in
So
micro bits.
so I think one of the craziest things that like if if you don't know how to like read between the lines. So
Yeah.
in the early days of Tron, there was like a lot of projects on Tron, right? Like a lot,
Yep.
right? And what most people don't notice is like a lot of those projects just migrated to other chains and kept a lot of the same logic and just like called it something different and had a greater success in terms of like higher TVL locked in the project, just larger community around the project, and then at the end of the day, they still did the same thing. So it's like it was never really a Tron thing, and they did it bigger on the other chains. Also, it's like it's a bigger rug if you want to call it. It's like it was so organized that they used Tron's cheaper smart contract deployment, and just took advantage of that where it was so easy to deploy in Tron and it was still expensive to deploy in Ethereum at the end of the day. So when everyone saw how, okay, I can build this, I can design this, I can try this, because again, it was still Solidity, still compatible. Just certain logic might be different once you go back, or signatures are different when you go back to Ethereum, right? But contracts are going to be compatible across both chains. So if you go over here and it's like, again, expensive to do it on ETH, you come to Tron and you do it, you get the hype, you get the sentiment, you disappear, right?
Yep.
And then you just change your name and go to BNB, or you change your name. And I've seen a lot of these things just like successfully went and did the exact same thing on another chain, and just like those people don't know that it was the same thing that was in Tron, because again, a lot of people are just new to the blockchain. They're new. They're just trying out things for the first time, and they don't have the experience. A lot of us didn't have the experience the first time, right? So you had to take that loss as like the biggest learning lesson ever, right? And then look at all those mistakes that you made before and say, okay, how can I look at newer things and take things from that and compare, like, okay, this is a scam, this is not a scam, this is a scam, this is not a scam, So it's like um, they've gotten more sophisticated now, where people aren't even looking at Tron anymore when it comes to that aspect, because it's also like, which projects do I know on Tron versus I just use Tron for stablecoin. So everyone knows like a stablecoin, stablecoin, stablecoin. So it's kind of like that narrative is, at least they know, they trust it for stablecoin. It's cheap, it's fast, and it's everywhere. But again, it started on Tron, but they're everywhere, bro. And it was just that Tron was the easiest blockchain to do it on first.
Yeah. you know, and you know, and I see your point on like that proving ground. You know, does this have product market fit? And you know, a lot of time the answer is yes. And but then the outcome is like, well, there's not enough people here, or there's not enough people in the circle that I run in that are on here. We've seen a huge growth of Tron, you know, stateside in the last year and a half, you know, um, through like sort of like a lot of what the team has been doing with universities, which has been really cool.
Yeah,
And then we saw,
I was just at the Columbia event. What was it?
oh, okay, with
Like,
Steven?
yeah. It was like 2 weeks ago, and it was pretty cool because it's like, again, it was Columbia, Boston, and NYU all
Yeah,
together. And again, it's at a point now where it's like Tron is taking the educational route, and a lot of these kids, again, until it's like a full on curriculum in universities, it's like there has to be some way to kind of like get it out to people who are already going to higher education, right? So um, you want it to become curriculum. You want to advocate for it on campuses. And Tron is doing that. I don't really know of like there's a lot of like blockchain societies on a lot of campuses, but there's no like full on curriculum countrywide yet. You know, certain colleges has it, but it's like, how do you get it down to middle school level? So it's like there's a lot of initiatives that I see the DAO doing with just focusing on, like, the Ivy Leagues, where it's like that can make the biggest noise, because if it's Ivy League, it's going to have the best students, right? And if the best students are there, they're going to work on the best code. So it's kind of like, just if you follow that pipeline, you could have something come out on the other end that's really successful. So
yeah,
I think it's good. I think it's great.
I think you hit on a good point there. You know, like rather like getting to youth while they're young is a really important piece there. You know, because it expands their mind out of like just solidity and just what sort of like the research side of blockchain that a lot of universities push. And nothing bad against researchers. You know, I love my quants, and I love, you know, my theoretical people, but my heart's with builders.
Yeah, that's the only way this space is going to grow. Is like each one of us have to keep building and using, So it's like it's still not in people's everyday lives yet. It's like
Yeah.
everyday lives as far as, yeah, we own this token, it's going up, it's going down. That's like one side of it. Or you're trading. But understanding the blockchain and liquidity, like the money aspect of blockchain is still only one side of what the blockchain has to offer. Like there's a whole another narrative, that people just, at least the ones who I believe, outside of like builders, but just general crypto enthusiasts, investors, they're just currently focusing on the narrative of money 3.0. And let me get a piece of it, other than like, you know, blockchain 3.0, like the tech aspect of what it's really going to be like for everyday life in terms of like, data, access to just a more, not centralized way of doing things, from logistics to everyday life. Um, it's just going to get fine tuned, and it's going to get ingrained gradually into everyday life. And I just feel like that's the side of it that will be talked about in the long run, is the builder side. Um,
Yeah.
meme coins, even what NFTs has to represent, it's just gradually going to evolve into that thing, because there's people building it, there's people working on it, there's developers, on multiple chains just doing different things, and gradually you're like, oh, I see what you did there, but I know how I can do it a little better. So it's kind of like the competition is just going to get really fun, is what I call it, because better products are coming to market, which means you also have to work on something better, or again, your audience might go somewhere else, potentially.
Yeah.
Unless your product is a utility that you just need to have it, and the utility does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So, you know, one of the things that I was hoping that, you know, we, one of the things that we sort of thought on for a minute was, you know, what I like to do is walk people through protocols and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to have you back on. Like what's the timeline for something for your product launching?
We
Or
have
the next phase?
the audit. We just completed an audit, and so far it's going good. But it should be 10 days for the audit. But let's see. Is it there's
All right.
if I have to fix anything, then I can't. I don't know if I can stick to that timeline. But it's supposed to be 10 days. 10, as of right now.
Yeah. And hey, we do what we can when we can because, yeah, it's, you got to be safe first.
Yeah, again, we're not in a rush to launch anything. We're just taking our time and doing it right. Because at the end of the day, again, it's like if you're building, right, you're not going to look at the unfinished product and like, oh, that looks really nice, It's like you want to build the whole thing and be like, wow, the finished product is amazing. It's kind of like a new house, a swimming pool in the backyard. It's like, you want to see the finish. You don't want to see all the construction stuff. That looks like mess. So we're at that phase now where it's like, we want to get to polishing the product and getting it to market. So just a little bit more. We're almost there.
Yeah. Do you, do you think that product placement piece has to happen for like people to like it, that it has to be 100% finished?
So for us, it's like, we're in New York, so our audience isn't, it's at least is how we're developing our community so far. It's not really people who are online. We're in New York. It's a city of just business people, and that's the type of people we're around. So they're not on Twitter all day long. They're, running their business. Or so how we're developing things for us is kind of like to make a huge presence in New York. And once you make a presence in New York, you can make a presence anywhere in the world,
Yeah. And that was, I just moved out of New York, back in June. And yes, now that's like 4 months. So that was 4 months ago, but I moved June 28th. And the reason why it still feels so new to me is because since I moved, last night was my 10th night at home at my new house.
Yeah.
So it was sort of interesting. It's New York is still like, I'm like, oh yeah, I just moved. Well, no, I moved 4 months ago. But because I've only spent 10 nights at home, it feels like it just happened.
Well, it's going to feel like that if you haven't been there for a full 4 months. But you haven't. I think even after a year, you're still going to be like, yeah, I'm from New York. Like after 2 years, like, yeah, I'm from New York. And it's like third year, you're going to be in like, cowboy hat, cowboy boots. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, no. So, all right. So
like,
I did my first Texan resident thing today. I voted.
Oh, congrats.
Have you voted yet?
So I'm not really that political. I try to stay out of the political scene as much as possible because I'm just a whole different understanding of like politics. So I never want to get into it with anybody because it'll just end up where it's like this. I'm the type of guy like, bro. The voting aspect for me is kind of like the narrative is like, to me it's like a show, so it's like who has the best show. And it's always like, okay, it seems like this time it's Donald, and it's always the person with the better show that wins. So I just like to stay out of, because it's like, it's in like who's directing the show at the end of the day is what I look at,
That is usually the biggest question. Who's the one pulling the strings?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. It matters who people vote for, I think, but like I am, and like I want people to go vote.
It's
whatever
your right.
Your heart sees.
It is your right to vote, so you have to utilize it. I just know that the narrative for me, it's like it's just more. Look, like people say, like I remember I was in college, bro. It's like people like, you should be a politician, you should have been a lawyer, you should have been a this, and it's like I've always stayed away from that because it's just like I see it in a way where it's like I'll get too emotional,
Yeah.
So it's like I try to just stay away from it as much as possible because it's a very emotional thing for everybody, right? when you really think about like laws that's going to govern your life for the future, your kid's life and your kid's life. So it's like it's an important thing, and I more so talk about it with people versus like being more public about it. In my small circle, my family, it's like an understanding, right? But I just try not to get into the dispute ever in public.
I agree. The disputing side is it has turned really horrible. You know.
Yeah, it has. It's just, and again, it's like it's not one side versus the other, and I think that's what people need to understand. It's like it's still one country. Both parties are still doing something for the country, right? No matter who's in office.
Yeah, and it's yeah, it can be a hard thing for people sometimes.
Yep.
So I don't know, but one of the things that we saw, Tron really made the headlines for what, like a month and a half. It was on everyone's radar from Sun Pump, and we're actually friends with the person that started that up. How do you think that Sun Pump and the memes of Sun Pump affected Tron? Do you think it just brought good eyes, more eyes? Is all eyes good eyes type of thing?
I don't necessarily think it's any different from any other chain. It's a narrative. Every blockchain right now has their pump.fun, sunpump.me. So it's like there's one for every chain, and I think that's what makes it that's what's making it like really cool, right? Because it's like on every chain there's a DJ, so it doesn't matter. Pick your liking, pick your choosing. At the end of the day, it's like there's memes that's going to be really successful, and there's ones that's not. That's not the point. I think it's a narrative of like, what is everyone willing to get behind at the end of the day? Like, which idea, which one's cool, which one are people saying like I like? So it's building a community on that chain around a single narrative where anything else that they would do on that chain could be successful as well, right? So it's really just a product where it's like a gas station, right? You have Sunoco, you have Mobile One, you have like what was it, BP. So it's like they're still selling gas, right? But you kind of like go to the one that you're liking or the one that's closest to you when you need gas.
Yeah. Or just never go to Sinclair.
Oh, I've never heard of that one. Is that in New
Just
Jersey?
never get gas from Sinclair. If you have any love for your car.
I try to only buy Sunoco.
All right. I'm a Shell man.
Shell. If you notice, like Shell and Sunoco are kind of like top of the line, but
Yep.
I still think Sunoco is better than Shell.
Oh, okay.
You know, they put Sunoco in the NASCARs, bro.
Yeah, they do. They do put Sunoco in the NASCARs. Yeah, so like when I'm traveling cross country, like Shell, BP, Sunoco, and Mobile One are like my top 4 gas stations.
I think if you were to do like a vote on which one's the best, I think Sunoco would win.
Okay. Let's do this then.
I think Sunoco.
What is the best gas? What? Obviously, our first choice is going to be Shell. Second choice, Sunoco. Third choice, BP.
Don't put Sinclair on the list.
Mobile One.
No, you got BP on there, right?
Yep. I got Shell, Sunoco, BP, and Mobile One. Any others I should put? Well, it only lets me have 4. I'm going to put that poll up for a day. And that is out there. You know,
let's see.
I don't, and unfortunately, because I made it, I don't get to vote on it. But let's share that link real quick. To huge shout out. So one shout out to Ganny for the chat piece. I want to shout out to everyone joining us on LinkedIn, Player One Taco YouTube, 0x Degens YouTube, Twitch, Twitter video, Telegram, Rumble, Kick, on-chain via Unlonely, and on-chain via Soul Media Tech, and Filecoin on Solana. So huge shout out to everyone joining us. We do now have a poll out there that we will see if anyone votes on in the next 24 hours. And if they don't, they don't. But yeah. What up? Oh my gosh. He got his allowance. One of the things that we've seen in the last 2 days with the launch of Ape Chain, and that's how this conversation started.
Yeah.
So we were brought together by Ape Chain.
Yeah, because that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
And it's a good one from the tech side, right? So
yeah,
it's like from NFT to coin to chain. It's crazy, right? Like this. If you just go down the list, it's like this all started from an NFT.
No, well, and you can even look at it at bigger, like NFT. Brand started, token, game, and brand.
Other side, right? Like
games. Yeah. So I am, I actually, one of the things that I was going to hunt down tonight is one of the really cool things that is made by Apes, MBA, the licensing deal that you can sign. Anyone you just apply for it and it's granted, as long as it's like not, a horrible thing. But I went to my local smoke shop tonight because they usually have really good deals on vapes. My life is crypto, cigars, and caffeine. I have a whole bunch of cigars, but I can't smoke cigars in my apartment while I'm on a show type of thing. So I smoke, sugar, nicotine, basically. But they had pipe cleaners, Q-tips, that had an Ape brand on them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I literally took a picture of the ape, and I'm like, I can go, because of that picture and because of the trade issues, I can go figure out who that ape is.
Yeah, because that's infringing.
No, not infringement, but it's their business.
Oh, so you're saying that they actually did release the Q-tips?
I'm gonna go find out who it is. Yeah,
do you know which ape it was?
I have a picture of the ape.
What number? You just gotta look for the number.
There wasn't a number attached to it. I got a picture. So here, hold on one second. Let's go trait hunting. I have a picture of this ape. All right. I could do two things. I could just look up glob mops and probably find it. But I have an ape that I'm going to, as you can see if you're looking at the camera, I'm going to go hunt this ape down based off traits and see if I can find this ape. Have you done anything yet on Ape Chain?
Nothing on Ape Chain yet. So I'm just looking at how they're doing stuff from a tech standpoint because, oh boy, this is gonna get fun. So
I'm a little sad. I should have minted.
Actually, you saw in the group that I called the pump on ApeCoin, like before it pumped massively. I'm like, guys, ApeCoin is gonna rip, and the rest of the world is just like,
hey, you know what I did is I did a couple things. I bought a bunch of ApeCoin because I knew I was going to be using it and I needed it. I wanted it cheaper, But then I went and put into some LP. I added to the LP pool on Uniswap, ETH to Ape, because I knew a lot of people were going to be trading to it. So that way I have either my Ape or I have my ETH. Either way, it's fine to me, but I also get fees on the meantime.
Correct. So, and that's, I think, I don't know, bro. It's like, for me, like, fees are super, super important, right? Because it's like, it's what allows, like, again, value extraction, if it's from liquidity mining, if it's from farming, if it's from arbitrage. So it's like there's so many different layers to like earning fees when it comes to DeFi outside of trading, and you're just parking your capital into liquidity, right? With other liquidity where it's going to make you money. It's like it's literally the biggest no-brainer way of making money. Park your money in liquidity. That's it. And I think that's like the one thing most people are scared of is parking their money in DeFi because they're scared like something's going to happen. So they just stay on centralized exchanges with all their money when it's like the exchange is making those fees and you have to trade. When it's like you go DeFi, you don't have to do anything and your money's being traded for you. So it's like, I don't know. It's just that one thing where it's like, if when Louis Vuitton first started taking the ape coin, it's like people should have known then. Like if they were able to pull that off, that's not an easy feat. Like you walk in a Louis Vuitton store and spend an ape coin, you know. So it's like they clearly have the right people on the team to get in front of the right people to make the best partnerships, and at least they're a good example so far for me in the Web3 space of a product that's just, I think they're going to continue to deliver.
Yeah. No, and so one of the things that like, you know, there's two things that I know about that. One, we'll save that for later. But one, go get your ape name is my biggest suggestion to people, because one of the things you get with your ape name is you get 6 months free of drop link. And I know the team behind drop link. Basically you can then use any token to pay for services.
Wait, but is that only on Solana?
No, drop link. So you might be thinking of not clicks, blinks.
Blinks. Oh yeah, I am mixing them up.
You're thinking of blinks. Drop linked is on any chain. And I worked really heavy with Ali and the team and stuff like that. So basically any token, they can set up a store for you or your store, and they can give you the widget to basically accept payment in your token or any other token.
Yeah,
so like instant utility.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
You want me to? I will connect you directly to Ali on Telegram.
Yeah, send me the link. Send me the link.
All right, I'll send you the link. All right, let me. Where am I going to do that real quick? All right, here, I'll do this real quick. Boom. Yeah, I'll send you the link real quick, and there you are. That way you can look into it, and yeah, I can hook you up. I can connect you directly to Ali, and you guys can figure that out. But one of the cool things is you get 6 months free if of drop link if you buy your ape name.
That's pretty cool.
So obviously I had to go buy my ape name. I had reserved it, so now I could buy it. So I was happy. I own my ape name. But what was I doing? I was looking up an ape. I got totally sidetracked, distracted. Shiny object, squirreled that. All right. But one of the things I picked up some of like the classics. Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy you. I'm gonna buy you, and I'm gonna buy you. Buy those three guys. You know, right now we're seeing like the classic NFTs from Yuga all drop on Ape Chain. The one that I missed out on was Ape Rocks.
Ooh, those are all gone, aren't they?
They're all gone, and they're already trading at like 700 Ape.
Yeah, that's gonna get wild over there, bro.
Yeah. So what I did, like, I was like, so I was supposed to do my show Saturday on Ape Chain. Instead, I just did like a quick little like run through because it was super late, and I just did a quick bite when I'm like super slammed on stuff. And I didn't do it. And Sunday afternoon I got into Ape Chain, showed people how to bridge in, how to get in and do it. And then one of the main projects, is how to go make a meme token, because Ape Portal has a really good list of all the apps that are building on Ape Chain to go through the entire ecosystem. We ended up building a taco token, and what has been crazy, what was crazy was that like 7 people came in right away, dropping like big dollars, not little dollars, but big dollars. And I was like, fuck, now I got to go do something, because then once they did that, a whole bunch, next thing you knew, there was like 40 people in on it. And I was like, oh, like this is literally like 10 minutes. And then everyone's like, where's Telegram? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't want to launch a token. I was just trying to have some fun. So I ended up making Taco token by accident, but now I'm running with it.
Run with it, bro.
Dude, we got a Telegram going. I got a bot in there that's showing all the buys. And like, we hit, like right now we've just been going up and to the right. And so that has been sort of like the cool thing to watch. And then yesterday and the day before, yesterday and the night before, I spent Sunday night like DMing all my friends, and like I'm like, hey, if you're doing anything on Ape Chain, would love your support. So because if we get to that 50%, have you done anything on Ape Express yet?
So I went to Ape Express, and that's where I was like, I'm looking at what people are building, what they're creating.
Yeah.
And again, I don't jump into anything until I'm sure. And for me, I'm still just buying Pepe, bro. Like Pepe's been like a great return, and I'm like, I'll just keep getting more Pepe. Like,
yeah.
It's like, how many memes do I need to hold? So for me, it's a little bit different because I'm like, Pepe's already done the returns that I wasn't expecting. So it's like, let it keep running and just gobble it up.
Do you want to hear something silly?
You sold your Pepe.
Oh yeah. I got into Pepe in its first like week. I was at NFT NYC last year, 2023, I think, last year. And the guy's like, oh, look, I just launched this. And I'm like, oh, who are you? And then like, and like I was like, all right, whatever, cool, and like, so then I put that in my little mental notes. All right, I'll check on this, and so then I bought in at like, I think it was like at like 250K or something like that, 300K, because it dipped after like the first people like made money. And I was like, all right, cool, now let's forget about this. And then like when it hit like 5 million, I was like, awesome, let's get out, yeah. Yeah.
You should have just put it on a ledger and forgot about it.
That's what I'm doing with a lot of tokens these days.
Yeah. Put it on the ledger and forget about it, bro.
Yeah. One of the things that I do, and so like I go throw in on random shit all of the time nowadays, but one of my biggest ETH like shithole meme tokens is Keck. The
But that,
Balkan Door.
but that one's new.
Have you? No, that's just hit a year.
Wait,
it's about to hit a year.
Well, a year to me is like new. You know, like
yeah. In the world of memes, that's like
ancient.
yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Like and like because that. All right, yeah, because that he goes on like the dev puts out like 1 or 2 new videos a day. It's sort of hilarious.
So the thing is, like, it's not even that. There's like you have to remember the so if you look at all the ones remember when the first voiceovers came out, I think that's what made. So it's a couple things might like start coming through again once like the hype for NFTs and everything start to build up. But it's like when everyone just started using a different artist's voice to make a song, and I think what made like Pepe go even more crazy is like they did it with Drake, right? They did it with Travis Scott. So it's like, how do you and it blew up where these songs got like millions in plays, right? So it's like it's gonna happen again with another one. I think like Lil Yachty had the Doodles video. It's like things are just gonna have like their own placement pretty soon, where it's like it just gets to that wider audience just for a visual point of view to get attention. And this one didn't hit my radar yet.
Yeah,
the one you're talking about. I thought you was talking about Cats.
Oh no. I'm talking about Keck. The Balkan Dork. Oh my gosh. Here. Keck. The Balkan Dork. Like he has a tune even.
Bro, I did not see this one. This is some stuff in Europe for sure.
I disappeared for a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
GM. Let's go buy some more taco. We're starting to pump on this a little bit.
Can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Cool Runnings. Did we lose you? I think we lost Cool Runnings. Uh-oh. We're gonna while we wait for him to come back, we are going to go to the one and only Valkendorf. What? We had an interlude while you were gone.
Can you hear me now?
Are you there?
You still can't hear me?
I can't hear you. Did my speak? No, my speakers didn't. Did my speakers go crazy? Let's see if my speakers went crazy. Oh, my speakers went crazy. Here and there.
Testing this.
Yep, we're back.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you now. What happened? I know exactly what happened. My because I trust StreamYard, I give it like a 1 week approval for like camera and mics. We just hit the week mark since the last time I gave it approval. So it literally killed my camera and my sound, and then it moved my speaker to something else. And so I could like my microphone or something like that. Try to turn my microphone into a speaker, which literally you can do thanks to science, but not in this case.
Wouldn't be very effective.
No, not at all. But
also, I don't think what we would hear on the other side would sound like what we wanted to hear. But it would work.
So sidetrack. I'm trying to look for this ape. So beanie, brown skin, grin, but nude. It doesn't match any ape. Huh. There's no Vietnam, lumberjack, leather jacket, black holes. Huh. Interesting. They're putting an ape on something that's not an ape in the collection. Curious.
And this
Curious.
This is like an official store.
Well, there's just one. Like it's a smoke shop, but like smoke shops usually have consignment items, and so let's go. All right, what we're gonna do now? We're just gonna look for this company and see if we can find the glob mop. All right. High quality cleaning swabs, glob mops. So, see, they got an ape on it, but it's not a real ape. Do they have a Instagram? They don't have a Twitter. Let's go hunt them down on Instagram. Yeah. So they just got they have like their own little ape on this. You can see that now.
I mean, if it's hey, I don't know, man.
It's not it, yeah. We're gonna send them a message just because we want to say hi. GM. What ape is that? We'll see. Maybe they might ban us, block us after that. But yeah. So, all right. We were talking shit coins on Ape Chain before we got distracted by things. We got distracted by a bunch of things.
So
have you bought into any of the shit coins on Ape Chain?
Not yet.
What do I have to do to get you to buy some taco?
It's the same. It's the same as Sun Pump. It's like, because I'm building, it's kind of like I cannot get distracted. So
true.
I look at
Ape Chain.
I look at Ape Chain and I'm like, oh, I like what you guys built. This is cool. You know, that's more of what I look at. Like, I give it props. I give it respect. You know, and then I'm like, okay, let me go back to the lab and see what I need to work on. You know, so it's like stuff like that. So it's like whoever comes to market, you know, produces something valuable. It gives you. It's kind of like, you know, Aave was the first lending platform, and now you have many, right? So everyone looked at what Aave did. Is like, okay, here's what we can do. Here's how we can do it. Here's something a little different. Here's another offering. Oh, here's how we can do it on a different chain. You know, so now every chain also has lending, or Aave is plugged into every chain for lending. So it's a matter of you making your chain, making sure you have the liquidity, and you're plugged in. It's a matter of that relationship with Aave. But at the end of the day, this is something cool. It's very cool. That's just it's cool to have the, you know, again, you have your own chain from an NFT. It's it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, and it's fun, you know.
No, it's fun for sure, but I'm just saying it's showing like, okay, this is a good test for like what else is really possible, you know. So it's a driving factor of like trading volume. It's a factor of it's a lot of things that's being driven this way that you would usually be doing on a centralized exchange. You've now gotten that trading volume activity on a decentralized exchange. So it's really cool to see that, okay, yeah, we just had to do it through meme coins first, you know, to get that type of trading volume, because were people trading that hard before outside of, you know, tier one exchanges? I wouldn't say so. So now it's like significantly more volume of trades on dexes.
Yeah.
And it's a volume that decentralized exchange can't facilitate, in terms of they're not going to list all those meme coins.
No, they're not. But we see some of them taking off on that as well, though. Like Mudeng.
No, the takeoff
is,
but that's what I'm trying to say. It's like the by the time you get to a tier one exchange, it's like it's already did what it was supposed to do in a decentralized manner.
Yeah.
So the tier one exchange is just access to, again, more volume, wider market, more access, right? But if you look at how everyone is trading now, even once the coin gets to like a tier one exchange, they're probably still not going here to trade the meme. They're still going to trade the meme where they've been doing it already.
Yeah. So, but, you know, but I think one of the really cool things that we've like the classic argument though with memes is it gets emotional response.
Yes.
Whether it's dopamine or just a smile, smile. One of my favorite memes. Do you remember the movie? This movie's like 20 years old. It seems like maybe older, but the Robinsons, or you know, something like that. It was like a cartoon version of the Robinsons, and there was the Tyrannosaurus Rex trying to get the boy who was like hiding in a corner, and the T-Rex kept like banging his head into the corner, and they're like, "Why aren't you getting him?" And he's like, "Big head, little arms."
I think if I see like the it sounds familiar. I would have.
You've seen the GIF.
Like pull up the trailer or the cover, and I might
Oh,
remember.
I'm gonna here, big head, little arms. This one. I have a big head and little arms.
I think I do remember that. I'm trying to like. Can you pull up the cover like for the movie?
Yes, I can. Let's see. Let me discard that. Meet the Robinsons.
I might have seen it. I think I might have seen this.
Let's see if there it is.
Yeah, that's like I think I've seen this. This is an old one.
Oh yeah, like I said, like 20 years
Yeah,
old.
Yeah.
March 30th.
Now that I've seen the main character, that kid, I remember right now.
Oh my god! Like, how old is this movie? Who does have in this?
2007. That's not really. 2007. That's not really that long.
Yeah. Trivia connections. Oh my gosh! Like, when did this? It doesn't say when it came out. Let me look at something else that might say when it came out. Oh, 2007.
Yeah, so I'm trying to say it's not that long ago. It's not. I wouldn't call it a classic yet.
No, it's not a classic yet. It's only 17 years old.
Yeah, it's not there yet.
So, yeah. It can almost vote. Ah! Like how I pulled that one around?
Say that again.
It can almost vote.
It can almost vote. Who's that?
The movie, it's 17 years old.
Oh. Yeah. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. One more year to go. One more year.
One more year.
But again,
then that makes it an oldie, right?
So what were you trying to say about the meme?
So okay, but memes, like, so they give you they just like bring like little smiles, like little chuckles to your face. And so like everyone uses them. And so like now they're like, wait, this is something I use all the time. There's money involved with this too. Like I don't know like how many weird tech gadgets you like to buy, but I know how many weird tech gadgets I like to buy, usually like from like one company. Because like I like what they build. Whether I'm going to use it or not doesn't matter, but I like to like try to like stay on brand in a way because they make good things and I like it and they make lots of things. So I, like as the natural human evolves, we see stuff like that happen,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that memes sort of make it easy for people to, really, really have a chance to get in on that.
Yeah, but I think it's still gonna happen. It's just a matter of like memes is definitely for one type of audience, and everyone else that doesn't even have access to memes is like they're still buying Bitcoin, So I think Bitcoin is still like the gateway, right, into blockchain, into crypto. It's that thing that once someone gets it, they start to feel a little bit different, right? Like, oh, I understand the mission now. Like HODL, I understand why we're doing this. I understand, why this thing. Gradually, as they get more into what blockchain is, but I think their first entry point is always going to be, Bitcoin, or like, even if they figure out how to get to a meme coin, however they did that, either they watched the YouTube video and they were like, it was very easy for them to just do that, or they had a friend who's already in it and it's just easy for the friend to show you how to do it, right? Or like everyone else, it's kind of like you just have to like jump out there on your own and hope you don't make a mistake, right? Where,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin first. Now, where can I buy Bitcoin? Usually, anywhere I can buy Bitcoin is already safe, right? So it's 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 that thing that they get first, and then there's still people who buy Bitcoin and just never even touch a Web3 wallet, like they just have it on Coinbase, or
Yeah.
a lot of people have a ledger. Pretty much, again, they bought it on Coinbase and sent it to a ledger, and that's the most they've ever done. So it's like they themselves are advocates for crypto, but they just never touched Web3. So I don't know. It's gradually going to become an audience that of newcomers, and I think those newcomers are definitely going to be younger. But it's going to be a catalyst shift where it's like it's now it's not going to be your grandmother learning how to use a wallet. It's not going to be like I don't even think it's going to be like a 50-year-old learning how to use a wallet. Like, right? It's going to be like younger people learn how to use wallet, and then easier methods of wallets coming out that makes access to the blockchain just a lot simpler, as it is to
Yeah.
just log into your bank account and transfer money, which it is already that. It technically is already that now, right? But it's just a matter of like the sequences that you have to go through to do certain things that we're already familiar with doing pretty fast. But when we do talk to normies, they have no idea, right? And
Yeah.
it's still that curve for everyone to get around, and I just believe that it's going to get simplified, and as it gets simplified, it's just going to be a younger audience that attracts to it.
You know what I just thought of that like would like so one of the things that Coinbase has done is they've gotten their all of their money transmitter licenses now. They are basically they federally FDIC insured accounts. Um, so they are like a bank now. Yeah, if I get paid in stables, you know, um, but if I were to still get a check from someone like a company, I could have them wire it to my Coinbase account as like as a payment for services, and then it's on my Coinbase, and I can uh, turn it into USDC or go elsewhere, Um, but if they made a physical location and they had a whole bunch of like bank, like sort of like bank tellers slash,
They'll never do
onboarding
it.
managers.
They'll never do that.
I know,
They'll
but if
they'll,
they did,
they'll never do that. It's literally going the opposite direction.
but
They'll
this is like what stops a lot of people from getting on board to stuff is like the being scared of it and sometimes just needing that handheld walkthrough.
Yeah, but I think you're still thinking too short term. You have to think of like the longer trajectory of where does the pipeline end, and the pipeline ends probably like how do I put it? Like, let's say you have 10 years, right? To see, let's say you can look through a glass and look 10 years ahead. 10 years ahead, most of tech would that's coming out is going to be for, again, of course, for everyone, but it's definitely going to be for younger generations. For example, you have kids who are like they have iPads now at like 2 years old. You have kids who are
Yep.
going in first grade with a cell phone. Like there's so it's a matter of like, okay, if a first grader has a cell phone and a 5-year-old has an iPad, in 10 years, right? What does a 5-year-old have in 10 years?
Man, I don't even know.
Do you understand? So it's like when you can think on that trajectory, it's a matter of, okay, is Coinbase is not thinking about tomorrow. They're thinking about 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 100 years ahead. That's what they're thinking about, right? So
Yeah.
it's a matter of still regulations and getting things through structure, but the tech is not saying like you and I don't matter, but it's like even if we were 20, we still don't matter because 10 years or 30, when you're 30, you're not doing what you're doing when you're 20, right? And when you're 40, you're not doing what you're doing when you're 30. So at 40, whoever is now 20 is the one that's taking advantage of like, I want the coolest cell phone, right? They're taking advantage of like, I need the latest trend. So it's like whatever that latest trend is, it's already just going to be like easy for them to use it. It's
Yeah.
just it's just going to be easy.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see a lot. We'll see a lot of stuff go through. I think a lot of changes, um, but as account abstraction moves farther and farther away, uh, as regulations come on and on more on board, we'll see some big things come about from that. I think.
Yeah, but I just don't think they're going to go physical locations because it's like you do everything on your phone. So it's like if I'm building this tech company, why would I want to have like, more overhead, more operational
Yeah.
costs from a standpoint of like physical structures? It'll be more of like making sure my services are available in the banks that's already there. So uh, if the bank still exists in the manner that it does now in 10 years, which like on a thinking on a realistic level, like banks have already existed the way they existed, right? For 30 plus years, right? So to think in 10 years banks just won't exist the way they do, it's not that it's not possible, but on a realistic level, it's like phasing out the way that it used to be. So even in 10 years, it's just going to be more phased out of what we know as the banking structure. It's just going to be gradually phased out by the new tech. So I just see the new tech is already like you can make $1 billion in your phone. Why do I need a physical location? Unless you need to
Yeah.
get, you know.
No, and well, not like, and you like what was really someone was saying this is like you could basically right now rule your world from your phone.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
it's a powerful tool.
and so what would be the point in doing anything else? Um, and it's a good that's a good strong hard question.
It's not even like in terms of like doing anything. You mean using anything else, right?
Yeah. Like, well, but so this is the other funny thing. What's really hilarious is as much as we see uh, people talk about the power of their phone, how shitty they treat their phone sometimes.
I mean, is that really a matter of like? That's a crazy thought. I don't know if people like think about that. That's a very crazy thought. Now that you like when you say it, and I'm thinking about it, it's like is that something I even think about? Like, does my phone have feelings? It's like
Well, no, like more along the lines of like cracked screens.
yeah, but I think that's a matter of like money.
Not
Oh,
always. Not like how many people so I go to conferences a lot, nonstop. I'm at blockchain conferences. One of the funniest things I love to see is like how like people that are supposedly in the money, um, and they're how broken down their phone is. And I'm like, that's to me, that's 3 hours out of my daily life where I just have to go to the phone store and like use the insurance um, that I pay $3 a month
so,
for
so you want
to have them fix the screen.
to hear something interesting?
Yeah.
So here's another point of view or another way for you to like think about it. So I have a friend who owns, let's say he owns 15 businesses. Let's just use 15 as like the low number, right? He
Yeah.
owns, he owns 15 businesses. So imagine the amount of meetings that he would probably have to go through on a daily basis, right? If just imagine you
Yep.
own 15 businesses, so you probably have to deal with a lot of people. If these businesses are also physical locations, like there's a lot of aspects you'd have to deal with interacting with people, right? So
Yep.
imagine you drop your phone and it cracks, but it still works. And you have all these people you have to deal with, but your phone still works. And for you to go through the process of changing the phone is more work and loss in time and potentially money than actually changing the phone, right? For example, I have a MacBook
Yeah.
and my screen broke, right? But it still works. And
Yep.
I've been in so many meetings, bro, where it's like I went to five I almost went to five Apple stores just to try to get things done my way. And I think at every Apple store I went to, it just was not working. And the idea is like I can't give them my computer for 5 days because there's no gap in time of what I'm currently working on where I can be without that computer for
Yeah.
5, right? It's just not possible. Even if I did a backup, I would still need to buy a brand new computer, right? And
I
I was more
yeah.
adamant about trying to get the computer fixed the same day because they had the screen and they had everything to do it the same day, but they were like, there's other people ahead of you. I was like, put me in the queue and I will come back on that day with the laptop when you get to me. And they were like, we we can't do that either. And it was just like me giving them like as many scenarios as I could give them where I
You were
would
trying to control the situation.
yeah, I would be without the laptop the least amount of time possible. So I'm like giving you two scenarios. I'm giving you my friend with 15 businesses, and I'm giving you myself with a laptop that I just refuse to buy a new one because this one worked and I just plugged in my HDMI cord. I have multiple screens in front of my desk. It works. I'm just connected to my screens. Because of what I have logged in and how I do things on that computer, it's like for me to even buy a new laptop, reinstall from a backup, I still have to re-input passwords to everything, right? No matter
Yeah.
what, right?
That's the annoying part. Seed phrases.
Like, well, not even seed phrases, just passwords to just things you're using every day from every platform. And it's like, I have like 30 tabs open that I actually use every day. And 30 is probably a low number, right? That I,
So here, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. We're gonna have some infinity screen because I'm gonna move my main screen over to my sharing screen so we can see how many tabs I work on a daily basis.
but that's the point. It's like, so,
Oh yeah.
you know, so, and for me, it's not even just the tabs. It's like, I have servers that I have to like stay connected to. So it's like when I'm not in the office,
The computer is different than phone.
well, again, I'm gonna say this again. Imagine you have 15 businesses and the thing you use the most is the phone. And yes, the screen is cracked, but it works. Or maybe there's a screen protector. So it's a matter of I could call my phone company, order a new phone, which you do eventually. But I think at the moment in time that you're seeing any of those people with that, it's probably because changing a phone is not as important as whatever is actually currently going on. Because guess what? The phone's backed up. So even if the phone it doesn't matter. I can get everything back on the phone. So that's not even an issue. The issue is being without the device is the problem. For any moment in time when you actually need an authentication, right?
Yeah.
You got to provide keys to something. So it's like, if I have stuff structured in a way where it's like, if I'm not at work, you can't even access anything for work on any of my devices. So it's like everything is just structured in a way of just like total security. So it's
Safety.
like, yeah, I don't even have work email on my personal phone. It's like
Yeah.
not happening. I don't even. So it's
Well,
like, so I'll get
I
calls
carry
and I'll get
I
calls.
carry around three to four phones. So I OPSEC is you can't have everything married.
That's more. That's actually like a cause for more problems. I have like 6 phones, but I only carry like one. I don't carry all of them. It's pointless. You carry one
Yeah.
and you leave the other ones offline, right? And when you need them, you bring them online. But um, it's a matter of like changing that one that you're using or that thing that is important to your business, it's eventually you will do it. Either the phone completely breaks or you do get a break and you take care of the problem, right? But or if you have someone to take care of the problem for you. So it's a matter of like all those factors. But if you're talking about guys at conferences, if they're developers, or I'm not sure if you're like speaking about
No,
builders,
I'm not talking about devs.
then again, it's money.
Yeah.
And they just at the conference, they might. I would say it's money, but I don't know. A cracked screen is definitely something you want to get changed if you don't want to cut your face, right? So,
yeah. So, it's a funny thing, you know. So, but no, I'm like, and so now, you know, we're talking NFT. We're back to NFTs, and literally while we're talking, I'm shitting into NFTs, you know. So on Ape Chain, because you know everyone's launching their Ape Chain version of their NFT. You know, who gets it first? The one I can't believe I missed is actually though Rocks, because Rock a rock was the first NFT I ever bought.
you still have it?
Nope, I do not. I got catfished for it.
How'd that happen? Let me hear that story.
Oh my gosh. There was a girl who I thought liked me. She wanted to be cool to be able to get into a Discord. I was not going to give up my seed phrase. And I'd known her for a little bit. And I sent it to her because she was supposed to send it back. She never did. Yep. That's that story.
That's should have sent it. You know, there's better ways you could have handled that. You know.
Hey, there's 1,000 ways I could have handled that, you know, and that's where like this was someone I'd known for like 2 years, you know, in person.
What was the reason for sending it to them? Like she wanted to see it, touch it. Like, what was it?
So she could get access to some special Discord groups. Yeah. So, yeah. She wanted some flex, I guess.
And she got in the group. Do you know if she got in the group or not?
Nope, I got completely blacklisted after that. Like, I think like there was like a day or something like that of like, oh, like I'm away, I'll get it to you. And yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. I learned from a rock.
And then you missed the rock again.
Yep.
Oh
well.
If it happens the third time, you know, that's like
I have base rocks. I have moon rocks. You know. Oh well. But
how much NFTs are you holding total?
How many NFTs am I holding?
Yeah.
Let's go see. On Ether, well, let's go look at OpenSea. What OpenSea says I have on Ethereum. Over 1,200 NFTs on this wallet. Yeah. A lot of different things. A lot of things. A lot of things.
That's not bad. That's a good number.
Yeah. I don't even want to go see what I have. Let's go look. Dot stole. Let's see. Items. They do not show a count for how many NFTs on Solana. But I know we can scroll for days. Plus 500. Yeah. Oh, let's see. It is slowly loading up. How many? Oh my gosh. Oh, there's 1,200. There's 1,200 NFTs on Solana. My first NFT on Solana was a goose, I think. 1,900 NFTs. That's sad. That's bad. We're getting into the bad territory, I guess. 2,400 NFTs.
You bought all these NFTs?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is just going. We're just going and going and going. 3,500 NFTs.
Are you sure they're giving you a list of your wallet?
What?
Are you sure they're giving you a list of your wallet?
I'm just 4,500 NFTs. I don't even know. Yeah, this is all in one wallet.
And you bought this like 1 a day, 2 a day, 3 a day, 10 a day, 100 a day.
Shoot. I've been in Solana since 5,500 NFTs. Since Solana was like $30 the first time.
Dude, this is a lot of NFTs and Solana.
6,000. They're still all just loading up too. Oh, maybe that might be the end of them. 6,215. 6,215 NFTs. And yeah, I remember getting drained once as well.
What?
That sucked.
So what's the average? What was the average NFT cost in this whole list?
The average NFT cost
at mint?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm saying in Sol, like, would you have more? How much Sol would you have now if you just kept not buying NFTs in that quantity? Or
I'd have a lot of Sol.
Or how many of those NFTs are actually sellable?
How many of them are sellable?
Well, they're all sellable, right? But how?
Yeah.
So how many of them have a floor price that's at least been increasing?
I don't know. I don't follow all of them. Like I go support random shit. I go have fun with random stuff. Let's see here. Here, like the other day, I went and bought like 1, 2, 3, 6 dog with hats.
Just to have them.
Yeah. Well, because no, like Magic Eden was doing a thing where like they're like, buy these NFTs to be put into their drawing. And they were actually free NFTs. So they cost like 0.002 in gas.
Right.
Right now, they have a floor price of 0.03. So that's literally, I could sell each one of them for 10x. I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Interesting.
A total of 7,565 items. But I think that's all within just yeah, active on Sol, Bitcoin, ETH, Polygon, Base, Arbitrum, and Ape.
That's so. And which one's been your best NFT?
Like my favorite, or
The most profitable?
well, I haven't sold it, so it wouldn't be profit.
I'm saying you've never sold any of them. Like any NFTs you bought, you've never sold any of them ever.
Oh, I've sold some, but like I don't know. What have I what? Huh? I don't know. Like maybe like 50 sold.
Not the soul, just like which project. I don't. I'm saying just which one was your most.
Oh, that was. Uh, do you know how many random things I've bought into that like raced up? And you're buying and you're selling and you're buying and you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um. Inscriptions when SPL 20s launched. Um. I think the biggest value and hold that I bought to hold were Asset Dash Vantas. I bought those at roughly anywhere from like 5.5 SOL to like 7 SOL, and at one point, could have sold them each for like 20 SOL a piece. But I did not.
You held them.
Oh yeah, because I wanted the utility out of them.
So that's the whole thing. It's like, again, what we're working on as well. It's like, it's all about how do you have the driving force of what's going to make the NFT has a longevity, right? And if it's not art based, because again, the art side of it is always going to be there for NFTs, where it's like, here's a cool art piece of what I've created around whatever the narrative might be. But then again, gaming is coming, and other aspects of how you can use an NFT is coming. And I just
Yeah.
believe, like you said, you're holding on to it for the utility, and I think that's one of like the best aspects of how I've minted. I think most of the things I've minted, even on ETH, has just been directly for like utility purpose and not so much chasing even the ones that were like cool. So I think it was like even the Walking Dead on Ethereum. Like those were like super cool. Like they were just animated. It wasn't just static, and it was like just a cool way to like introduce how like you can get a Walking Dead NFT, right? And
Yeah.
they didn't give you everything that was coming yet, so it's kind of like they kept you on your toes. Like, okay, now you have to wait, but at least you have what you need to get access. So uh, that's the cool part that I know. Like NFTs are going to be a driving force when it comes to like more utility, more use case, more value. It's definitely going to be like what you said. You're holding on to it for the utility.
One of so I'm looking at it right now. Right now, one of my highest floor priced NFTs are my aces. I didn't even know that they were my highest floor price right now. Not bad.
Which ones?
The Aces.
How long you had those?
So what?
How long you had those?
Shoot, I got my first Ace. So originally they launched on ETH back in January of 2022. And I got my first one in February. That sounds about right.
Remember when everyone was chain hopping?
Yeah.
And
So the Aces just migrated to Solana this past week.
That's what
and
I
that's
like.
yeah.
The gods did it. I mean, it was a number of them. They went all the way to inscriptions, you know. So it's like they.
Oh
It's a pipeline again, but the migration was a cool way to see like the herd just follow, you know.
Well, you know who really pushed that first that no one really took advantage of? Pudgy penguins, little pudgies.
I think
That was the
no.
first.
I
That
think
was the first.
at the time, the
Yeah.
gods were just bigger.
Yeah, but little pudgies had already been doing it for like a year.
Yeah, but again, more noise was being made by D gods. I think that was right around the time.
Okay, that was an entire collection and community migrating.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Like everyone just packed up and was like, "We're gonna go
And,
hop style," you know.
and they were like, "Peace."
Yeah, and
But,
it happened where it's like the whole thing about the inscription is like, can you get everything in one block? You know, so that was like the big hype. At one point, is like, you know, you want to print the best block, and yeah, it was a whole hype during that entire season of like, okay, we're gonna migrate from ETH, we're gonna go to Solana, okay, we're gonna go from Solana, we're gonna go to inscriptions, or we're gonna go, you know. So it was like, oh man, what a mania! That was a wild time.
Yeah. But it's one of those things to where what I really like about it is it got a lot of people. It got a lot of people to like learn new things because a lot of people in DGods were just they'd only ever touched Soul. You know?
Yeah.
So this got people to touch more things, touch more blockchains.
Yeah, and I think that's at the same time, it's like it allowed for me again the tech. It allowed the tech to show like what else is possible. So it's like here's another layer on Bitcoin. You know, here's bridging the entire community to Solana, and you know, so it's kind of like all these factors of like, oh my god, subscriptions are still here. You know, you have people now doing things on Bitcoin. It's still, even if it's quiet, it's like consistent. So it's now okay. The groundwork has been laid. Let's just keep building. But you know, the layer 2 on Bitcoin is like it's a whole mission, bro.
Dude, I'll be honest. Like, I started as a Bitcoin miner in 2012, 2013. And I like Bitcoin is what got me on like a good path in life in a way. There was a bunch of different things that were like working that the universe was sort of doing all at once to me to like being like, hey, the path you were on was not a good one. Here's an alternative. And the Bitcoin white paper was freaking awesome for that. So yeah, I owe a lot to Bitcoin, and so because I wanted to give that premise because like I'll be honest, a lot of these layer 2 stuff scare me on Bitcoin.
I mean, it's not that it scares. It's the fact that it's utilizing the block space to do something. So that piece of tech of its use case doesn't have to be for what its current use case is, it could be the same thing being used for a different use case. You're still utilizing block space at the end of the day. So it's not a matter
But
of
if it takes it to the point to where no one can use it, that was for what it was meant to be for, then that's sort of where it takes from it.
so it's not, again, you don't know where it's going to go. So to say that it's going to take away from where it's going to go, if you don't use it, then it's just still in the same state, right? But if you are putting that block space to a use case, what I'm saying is that the current use case doesn't have to be the only use case of that block in terms of how we're using it now for the NFT on Bitcoin or inscriptions. So it's a matter of, like I said, even with Tron, it's like Bitcoin is consistently doing what it's supposed to do, and Tron is following that model in its own way. So it's like everyone else is taking advantage of what the Bitcoin block has to offer. Again, in 5,
Yeah.
6, 10 years, are we going to be using that block space for the same use case as we did today or as we did 2 years ago? So we have to look at it where it's like, okay, maybe in 2, 3 years, something else better comes and it's now the hype left that thing and now it's just on to the new use case. And no one's now going to object why the block space is being used for this specific use case.
Yeah. You know, yeah. It it doesn't it Bitcoin. I don't know. Like there's the techie, the nerd in me that is like, oh my god, yay! But then there's like the home on the prairie version of me that are like, we don't need no trains coming through these woods type of thing, you know? And so, one, I don't want to stand in the way of development in any way, shape, or form, because when someone sees something cool that can be built on one chain, they'll figure out how to build it on another.
Yes.
And we've talked about that a few times, you know. But it's it's I don't not necessarily conviction play, but it's a play nonetheless of will it fuck things up? You know?
We don't know. We don't know if that's a thing to worry about in terms
Yep.
of if Bitcoin gets slow, it already gets slow just from a significant amount of transactions, which is why we already had, you know, Bitcoin in terms of like SegWit and all of the other aspects of Bitcoin that's been rolled out to make sure that transactions can be facilitated on whatever layer it needs to be settled on. It still passes through the Bitcoin block. We're just using a different protocol on the Bitcoin layer to either facilitate more instant forms of payment with Bitcoin without having to worry about speed, right? Um,
Yeah.
and again, that is another use case outside of NFT or Bitcoin. So it's like um, I don't think it's like something that we should have to worry about.
Yep.
And if there's a problem as humans, we fix it.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be fine. I think
Yeah.
we'll be fine for sure. In development aspect, it's a lot of development out there in terms of where this entire space is going. So I don't see that as any. I don't see that as something that anyone even from institutional level down to like a local developer, is looking at that in terms of there's a problem there that we should, I just don't see it as a problem.
Yeah. I don't know. What other chains are you looking at?
Right now, it's like maybe Base.
Okay.
Like, Base is the only one where it seems as though they're trying to do their whole Bitcoin thing, gain liquidity, get their Bitcoin out there into the crypto space, get everyone adapted to it. So it's a liquidity thing at the end of the day for every chain. If the liquidity is there, you can facilitate any size of trade you need to. And if the chain doesn't have the liquidity, this is where interoperability comes in, because now you can make a trade and facilitate it on multiple blockchains. So that's going to be the cool aspect. I think I'm not sure if I forgot. I think it's Uniswap that's going to roll that out pretty soon.
Unichain?
Is it Uniswap? I think it's
Yeah,
something.
Uniswap is rolling out Unichain.
Yeah, so it's just making sure, like, again, access to liquidity is going to be a lot easier when you have access to that liquidity across multiple chains,
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be, again,
Well,
to me, that's like cooler than any meme coin,
yeah. And that's I think one of the cool things with Unichain, this is some really cool tech that we're going to talk about. They're looking for that. How do you move large amounts of money across multiple chains as cheaply as possible? Well, the way Uniswap did it is the same way, is by making their own chain where that message is sent, that money is moved, and that receipt is held and passed on, and that money is released.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes back now. This is perfect because it rounds it back over to Ape Chain, which launched on Wire Network for gasless state chain. So all the fees that you're seeing on Ape Chain are protocol fees that are going to like devs building and back to Yuga or Banana Body.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's some cool stuff there, man.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
One of the things that we launched out during permissionless in conjunction with Wire Network, 6079, Morpheus, Lumerin, Akash, was and like 30 other projects, nogas.com. That brings it back to AI agents and like what my project's sort of really building out and stuff like that. So that's the fun side. This is where we're going to get to see some really cool things, I think.
Nogas.com. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Is it ready?
What?
The site.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out too.
Boom.
So,
Libby.
It's been an hour and 56 minutes.
Yes.
I didn't think I would be here that long.
You didn't think you'd like me? Or you didn't think we'd have this good of a conversation?
I think the conversation is what I was like, man. Oh, this is pretty open. So it's like, let me just roll with it. I'm actually just laying here on the couch and enjoying the conversation until I go sit back at my desk.
Hey, I don't have a couch in my office.
Yeah, you should, because it's kind of like when you sit too long, you want to stretch your body out. Because sitting down,
I still have don't judge me, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 maybe 23 unopened boxes.
Of what?
Remember, I moved.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So you're just like playing Legos right now.
Yeah.
Open this one, move this one over here, close this one, move that one over here.
Yep. Do I need anything out of this one?
Yeah.
Do I need any wires out of this box?
The
And
only
then, as the classic
crazy thing
man,
is,
I
it's
need
like
all the wires.
surprisingly, you want to take a Saturday and just do it all. I find that to be like one of the days where your mind doesn't mind doing it.
Yep.
But
Unfortunately, I'm
I've
flying
moved
out on
before, and
Saturday.
it's insane with the boxes, bro. It's like you want to unpack, but at the same time, you just want to unpack the thing you need at that moment.
Yeah. Basically, well, what I did first was I unpacked all the clothes, and I've put all the clothes through laundry, and then I did I've done like 3 cullings of clothes so far. So like I think there was like a total of maybe this is a high estimate, but I'm gonna say there was maybe like a total of 40 boxes, maybe 50, but of those 40 boxes, I would say 20 of them were clothes. And I've now gotten rid of like 10 boxes worth of clothes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
When it comes to clothes, bro, it's like for me, it's very specific. I've learned to not. It's been a thing that I learned when I was like really young to just shoes is a different story, but like clothes is like it's very like I like to limit my wardrobe to a point where if I need to do something, I'll get it new. And surprisingly, when I do get it new for that thing that I need it for, 9 times out of 10, I don't wear it again. Right? Or you
yeah,
don't wear it again for like a really long time because it's not necessarily like something you're gonna put on again. So if it's like white shirts, those you have like 20 of because they're white shirts. If it's like jeans, okay, I'm gonna have like 5 different pairs of blacks. I'm gonna have like 4 different pairs of this type of blues. I'm gonna have my cargo pants, so it's kind of like men. I feel like men do try to keep it simple, but I keep it like super simple where it's like I Steve Jobs it sometimes, bro. It's like my sneakers, they're really cool, so I just decide I'll wear the same sneaker every day. So I have to
yeah.
match my outfit around my sneaker. But I have
Oh, again.
shoes that I just never put on. I have brand new sneakers in boxes that I'm like, why don't I find myself wanting to wear them? But I'll put on the same one every day. So it's like it's weird. I'm content with limited wardrobe and access to wardrobe when you need it for whatever the event is. That I like. It's cool because then you get to go shopping, which is cool, right? Get on something new. It's versus just going in the closet and pulling something out. You know?
Yeah. And what's really so I wear like 3 pairs of shoes, but one of the things I found from like all the boxes I had in storage and stuff like that, because I had um I had like 15 pairs of shoes, and I didn't even know I had that many shoes.
How many
I had like 15 pairs.
that you weren't wearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't wear 15 pairs of shoes. It's just not possible.
Yeah. Well, and like I like, and that's like, yeah. And so I end up giving away a lot of clothes, but 90, well, for like 90, no, it turned into being like 50-50, and like 50% of my shirts were conference swag shirts. Um, Socks. 90% of my socks are conference socks. All except for like 2 hats are conference hats. Swag hats.
And they wait. So how many do you have total?
Hats or shirts or what?
Like the hats?
Oh, I got maybe like 30 hats, 20 hats.
Yeah, I like collecting the hats. The hats for me is like it's cool, but the backpacks are cool. But definitely the hats are like well. When I got my B&B hat for the winter, I felt
The
like
beanie.
yeah, it was like so well built, bro. It's like
Okay. Yeah.
that thing was like on my head like all winter long, bro. Like I'm walking around with the
I got the B&B beanie, but most of my hats are flat brim hats.
buck like yeah. Which one? Actually, I got a actually the Tron one that I got is a different type of hat. It's more like a baseball cap.
Yeah.
The Hackatron one,
Yeah.
that hat is pretty cool. That hat's pretty cool. But definitely collecting swag at all the events is a must.
Yep. It is. You know. Um, my running joke was for a long time was if if they gave away pants and shoes at a conference, I would never have to buy clothes again.
I mean, you go to almost every conference, you literally are a walk-in conference yourself if you put on all the attire.
Yeah. And then what one of my friends protocols over at a star on Polka Dot did, they had a custom pair of shoes for me.
Did you get into the RTFKs?
The which ones?
RTFKs?
Was that the ones on Algorand?
No, that's the partnership with Nike.
Oh, no. Okay, I know of it, but no, I did not get into it.
Yeah, those I had to wait like 6 months just for the sneakers to come. And we got like 2 pairs, but they're like, I'm like, I'm never gonna wear these. So the whole thing is like people are already flipping them for like double what they paid. Some are going for a little higher. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not selling them. Because again, it's like I'm looking like ahead where it's like these they didn't make like a million pairs, and
Yeah.
they didn't make 60,000 pairs. So it's like they made like 8,000 or like 10,000 pairs. So it's kind of like, hey, this is rare just in itself. Like, and people, you can go on eBay and buy one right now, but mine is like still in the box. I'm like, yeah, I'll sit on it for like 5 more years, 6 more years, 10 more years.
And then are you gonna wear them?
No, I'm not gonna wear them. I didn't even had that thought of not wearing them, but I had the NRFB like never remove from box thought in my head, and I'm like, well, I did, I
Okay.
definitely, I definitely did open the like I looked at it, I held them, but I didn't even try them on, not even that.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how they look on my feet. I just put them back in the box after I looked at them. But
Okay.
the project is like a huge community that's like just like bro, the sneakers like you have a partnership with Nike, like you're producing a product with Nike. So it's like again, you did something right. The Ape coin is in Louis Vuitton. It's like you did something right. So I think it has to be like compelling enough at the end of the day, right? To get that gratification on like the traditional side that you're looking for. But the
Yeah.
conferences, the swag, the Bored Ape swag is just like everywhere now, like right. So again, NFT season comes around again. We don't know where the next big NFT conference is going to be at, but we do know like it's going to be an even bigger hype than we have ever seen.
Yeah. It's yeah. I don't know. We're gonna see some cool stuff, I think, coming up.
Oh yeah, again, we're gearing up for a bull, and this bull is not going to be a short-term one. So a lot of factors are in play. Politics, this is a lot of factors in general that's in play in what the next 4 years of America is going to look like in less than 30 days. This is going to be a deciding factor. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot that's about to like just rumble in the jungle. Once, on November 5th, we find out what's going on.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we find out on November 5th.
I mean, they said either the day of. Supposedly, there's like some things being passed where you won't find out the night of the votes. So
Yeah.
it might be like the next day because they got to count. I'm like, oh, cut it. You got to count. So all these other times you weren't counting, or what, am I missing something? Like.
So, and this is something that blows my mind. So I just voted today, and it was like an assembly line that was just like moving people through, like no issue. Scan my ID, look at my ID, see it's me, have me like confirm my information, sign a little thing. Then they print out my ballot. Then I go and sit in my little booth and I like fill in all the boxes. I did do one throwaway vote. I'm gonna actually I'll post that video shortly, but I did do a write-in candidate for the Texas Railway Road Commissioner, and I voted for Taco on Ape Chain.
Okay.
The reason why I did that is because I know somewhere that is going to get tallied by a computer somewhere that Taco on Ape Chain had a vote.
So you might get something.
Who knows?
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's
like it's the one thing you never know, and then when it just drops in your wallet, it's like, oh, thank you. I wasn't expecting this, but thank you so kindly. It's like, and they don't happen often, but the big ones again, the Uniswap was big, right? The one that I enjoyed the most was the oh my god, why is it slipping my head? Was the Optimism.
Optimism was nice.
Yeah.
ENS Books was nice.
Yes.
Uni was nice. Optimism Arbitrum was nice.
I didn't get because I never went over there and used anything on Arbitrum. Arbitrum I didn't touch, but everything else, like the OPT one, was crazy. That one was crazy because it's like someone reached out to me on Twitter and was like, "Hey, I've been trying to find you." I was like, "Find me where?" Like they're like, "Yeah, you have an airdrop, and I just want to bring it to your attention." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, you have this airdrop." I'm like, "So you want to tell me about what's in my wallet that I know what's in my wallet, and you want to tell me about it?" And he's pretty much like, "Yeah, I wanted to bring it to your attention so that you can give me a commission for me telling you that you have OPT in your wallet from an airdrop." I'm like, I have notifications on my phone. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it was just at the point where it was just like, how did you even find my Twitter? And
that's easy to do.
What?
That's so easy to do these days.
No, I'm saying Twitter to my wallet. How did you locate that wallet and attach it to
my that's so easy these days.
If I've never put that wallet publicly, how would they attach it to it?
So there's so many different tools to do that with. Like because like, especially if you're like using like a Twitter, like to like sign, like even like via Galaxy.
No, I'm saying if I've never done anything with that wallet on Twitter, like,
Yeah.
there's no way to find my Twitter account with my wallet. There's no way to associate the two unless I would have tweeted sometime in the past that wallet address, and then they just found me that way, or found an old tweet, or searched an old tweet, found it, and then it's like, hey, I found.
Well, so what I did is to like I just went and found someone recently. I looked at what because I was looking for their NFT, and I was like, I want to buy this NFT. So, but they had it in a cold storage wallet. So then I went and looked at like the history of transactions to and from that wallet. Looked at other NFT collections that person that person I could tell owned that wallet, because there was a lot of back and forth. And then from there, I was able to identify one of their NFTs, which I then was able to find to their Twitter account. So, yeah. But I had a friend do the same. So one of the best airdrops I've gotten, like Pith airdrop was good. But one of the best airdrops I've gotten in the last like 3 years was Degen.
Mm-hmm.
From Warpcast. I wasn't even trying. I didn't even like it was like I wasn't even trying for that. It was sort of hilarious.
And then you just like popped up.
A friend reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you got a big airdrop."
Yeah, but your friend knew you.
Well, like, because he saw my wallet address. Because there's the list of wallet addresses, and then he looked at the wallet address, saw one of the NFTs, and he was like, "Oh, that's tacos."
I mean, in that way, but again, he was able to associate something to you before Twitter, So
yeah,
it's the matter of what pattern were they able to put together. It's either I would have definitely probably posted that address or something NFT related on Twitter.
yeah.
That's like the only thing I could ever think of where it's like I'm posting the location of an NFT and here's his wallet. And it just so happened to be that maybe they checked that same wallet on Optimism and was like, oh, he has something, But it's a matter of like me knowing, like, bro, we searched. I'm like, there's just no way that there's this thing, where it's like, how are you finding me? Like, how did you? And it's a matter of fact, it's just like when they say, oh, we've been looking for a while. It's like, what do you mean you've been looking for a while? It's like, how long is a while?
Yeah.
Because then it gets a little like startling. It's like, that's a little creepy.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy, but I don't want to use that word, but it's just some random Twitter user just texts you like, hey, I've been looking for you. Like, what? You don't say that.
Man, it's crazy what people can do or what people will try to do,
Yeah, but they didn't get anything, so nothing to worry about there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, dude, this has been a blast.
I enjoyed this, bro. I want to see. Are you going to edit this?
No. What? You think I have time to edit?
You just let it go raw, huh?
Oh yeah.
I guess we'll just have to watch the playback.
Oh yeah, no. We got 60 people watching us right now.
I hope they're entertained.
Are you entertained?
Are you going to see Gladiator?
There's a new one coming out?
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, I am. No, I'm not. Is there a new one coming out?
Type Denzel in YouTube, and I think everything else will say the rest.
Oh, that's Diesel. I typed in Diesel.
No,
I
Denzel.
want Denzel. The Equalizer, Gladiator 2 role. Ooh. And see, this is how I get banned from YouTube.
I own you now. But whose head could I give you to satisfy your fury?
Denzel Washington is saying Ridley Scott made it easy to get into his Gladiator 2 role. The legendary actor joined the Gladiator sequel cast at an early screening of the film over the weekend. During the Q&A portion, the actor, who plays a wealthy arms dealer and former gladiator who plots to control Rome, joked to the audience he's misunderstood. He's a nice fellow, before adding that his character is, quote, in bed with the devil. Washington also explained that Scott made their work easy by building life-size sets as they shot in Malta. When you would walk around, you were in Rome, and it seemed like 10,000 extras and horses. It was make-believe. It was play. It was fun. Just put the gear on, put the dress on, and go. That's the way I look at it. I'm putting this dress on, these rings, and I'm going crazy.
It will clear my path to the throne. You will be my instrument. I will never be your instrument.
The film sees Paul Mescal playing Lucius, a nephew of Emperor Commodus from the original film, played by Joaquin Phoenix. Lucius returns to Rome after being forced into slavery to battle not as a ruler, but as a gladiator out for revenge and power, seeking to return the glory of Rome to its people. The Normal People star told a story about how on the first day of shooting, he was sitting in the production tent when Scott came in with a cigar. I was absolutely shitting myself, and he looks at me, he goes, "You nervous?" And I didn't know what the appropriate answer was, so I was like, eh. He's like, "Your nerves are no good to me. Marge is out, cameras are turning over." Mescal noted that the sequel, coming 24 years after the original, wears the legacy of the first film with intense pride and honor. But I think it takes it in a direction that drives that honor and respect through the roof.
Lucius, take your father's strength. His name was Maximus. I see him in you.
For more on the story, head to thr.com. And for the latest entertainment news and updates, keep watching the Hollywood Reporter News.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that comes out.
All right.
Gotta go watch that.
What? There's a movie that comes out on the 20. Oh, Venom 3. That comes out on the 25th.
It's a lot. Again, it's holiday season, so it's a lot of stuff that's going to come out for this quarter.
Yep.
So again, everyone's preparing for a good holiday and product release, game release, movie release, NFT release. So there's a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah. No, there is a lot, and I don't have time for it.
But
man,
I just think at the end of the day, it's kind of like, there's going to be something that just blows up really big, and it's gonna happen in an organic way where it's like, okay, this thing is exciting. Outside of like meme code, because I think meme season, I think memes are gonna be here forever. It's just it's gonna have its own season, whenever that might be, in the cycle. But there's other narratives that has to play out, and they've been floored, like significantly floored. So this is also why I think this cycle is going to be a longer run. In general, just because of like, it's just going to be a bit wild, bro. It's hard to fathom, but a lot of tech products is coming to market, so it's just a driving force for friction. It's just for something, you're looking at positive sentiment from the market for new iPhone, again, just new things coming to market where people are going to give their public review about it. Now you're going to really see like, okay, this was a good product, this was a good addition, but this goes across all industries is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, it's a good time to kind of like be excited.
Oh yeah.
Without
It's a good time. There's a lot of reasons to be excited right now.
Yeah, this is just a bullish momentum where that the narrative again is like everyone's looking at the presidency, right? So just
Yep.
new. Either way, it's something new, something different. No matter who wins, it's something new and different, right? So Donald Trump is new because he's not a politician, he's a businessman. So if he goes in, it's business coming in,
Yep.
it's not really coming in from the political side. If Kamala wins, it's first woman president. It's still something different. So it's like, okay, this is a first, you know. Donald versus a woman, not Donald versus Biden, or it was Donald versus Biden, but it's no longer Donald versus Biden. You know, it's like it's this is entertaining.
Yep.
But it's new things are coming. So I think that energy of new things is what the world has to look at and embrace it, because it could mean something different for everyone in terms of a new thing. You know, this quarter it leads into a new year. It leads into like it's just something different again, where it's a momentum that everyone is like looking for the same sentiment. You know, the holidays, you're around family, you feel loved, you feel happy, you feel joy. So all of this momentum that's coming for this bull cycle has to have like everything else tied with it for us to kind of like go into the stratosphere. You know, like it's just going to be a wild ride, bro.
Games, NFTs, tokens, utility. Like one of the things that was announced today, Solana announced RWA's partnership with. I haven't looked to see who the oil and gas company is, but an oil and gas company is now putting their derivatives and royalties on chain.
Yeah, if that blows up, bro, it's just again, it's a lot of liquidity out there in the world, bro. It's a lot. So it's a matter of like, where are you going to kind of like get these relationships to make these things possible outside again, meme coins, trading. It has to be that real world narrative, because that's where all the money is. It's still there. It
Yep.
has to come out of the real world and come onto the blockchain. So all these things, I look at them where it's like, again, to me in my eyes it just looks cool. You know, it's always something that's like, that's cool. Like it might look like, you know, no one cares about the tech, but when you look at the tech, it's gonna be here for a long time. And when you're here when it's in its infancy, again, it's like that's some cool shit to have an oil company like bring the money on chain. You know, it's like, how much further can we go with this?
Yeah. Man, yeah. I don't have an answer to that question.
I think it's more of a statement.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think that last part was more of a statement in terms of like the sky's the limit. Like, what else?
Like,
The sky's the limit.
dude, like, so like this is how cool things are. Buenos Aires just rolls out digital IDs. An entire nation just rolled out digital identities on chain.
But then you also saw that Tron did that, you know. So it's kind of like which one's being.
Well, no. So Tron is different than a block than a country.
Right, but we're talking about the country of Dominica at one point, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, so there was supposed to be. I'll have to talk to Hunter about this. I don't know. I don't think I can give out. There's a fourth country that's going to be adding Tron as their stable dollar.
Guess we'll have to see what that is.
Yeah. Do not get me wrong. There are awesome things coming, you know. So where it ends, I don't know. But I find it hilarious that everyone is betting on Trump right now to try to get him to that 69% on Polymarket. That's just hilarious.
Yeah, Polymarket is the wave, bro. Like that's where everyone is saying, okay, this is the right data, you know. So They don't.
Yeah.
They're not going to use. You might have an uproar if it doesn't go according to the data, but again, it's an amazing way to place a bet, and I like it.
Yep.
Poly market's
It
going to
is.
explode one day, bro. Like huge.
Man.
There's no competitor to them right now, and
No, and what's hilarious is how long Poly Market was just grinding out there. You know,
that's usually what it takes, bro. They keep grinding and keep building. That's the only way
just
you're gonna get.
keep grinding.
That's it. So it's like they might not see you today, but if you keep doing your thing, they might see you tomorrow. So it's every day is not your day, but it will be your day one day, right?
Yep.
So you just gotta
Man.
keep doing your thing, no matter what.
Yeah. All right. So cool. We end this. We got to wrap this up because you said you had to go a while ago. I gotta get to bed. I haven't really done any work today other than tell all my friends about this stupid token I launched, and that I don't care. Buy a few.
I'm gonna check.
But
I'm gonna check out Taco when I wake up this morning, because that's what I usually do in the mornings. I check the charts first thing I do when I wake up. I'm like, chart red. All right, let me go brush my teeth. Charts looking green. Let me go brush my teeth. It's still the same narrative at the end of the day, right? So
yeah,
but I'll check out Taco in the morning, and hopefully it's still trending upwards to the right. I'll get in on the ride.
heck yeah. This is something that this is one of those fun things that I'm just like, oh well, guess I'm doing this now. Well, not really. I'm gonna move this. This is gonna have to move to like 30% of my time because I have to keep building my real things that I'm building.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why I try not to get too distracted, because the real things have to keep being developed. And there's been a lot of spaces that I just haven't gotten. I'm like, you know what? Let me just. Development has gotten. Again, we're going through one audit right now, so one thing we were working on is completed, but it's now like, okay, I'll start doing some more spaces again, right? So
yeah,
but it was a space of time where it was like I couldn't talk, because it's like I'm listening, but I'm also like over here looking at what my team is doing. So and I don't have anything to talk about yet, so it's like I'd rather wait till I have everything solid, completed, done, hashed out, narrowed away. Like, all right, we're green, we're good to go, we go. But it's like, I don't count my eggs before they're hatched. I like to complete things, and once it's done, then I talk about it. Even now, it's like, I didn't even show my project too much, because it's like, bro, we're still behind the scenes, and I like to not have any pressure. I want to finish.
Oh man, I'm gonna put pressure on you when
Well, again,
when audits are done, when your protocols live. Like we are going to.
Yeah, the whole thing is the audit. So as long as the audit's good, it's where I feel like a lot better about sharing the product with the public. But even though we know it's good, it's kind of like, let me just get that stamp of approval that gives the trust factor. So and I think the more trust factor you bring into the space, the better at the end of the day. But I don't want to rush anything, because I think even after the audit's complete, I might still go look at the charts and see if NFTs are trending. And if they're not trending yet, we might, hold off on our marketing campaign and everything, and just gauge the market. But currently, it's still, the entire NFT market is still on the floor. So it might start trending upwards next month, to give us some signals. But only time will tell. We cannot predict the future. We can only predict, today. That's the most we can do. So let's just wait and see in terms of trend, and everything is about trends. So as you can see, the NFT talks are definitely popping up again, right? They're definitely popping up. NFTs haven't really left the space, right? In terms of, but the narrative around NFTs are going to become more prevalent again pretty soon. because you're not going to go into a holiday season without talking about NFTs. It's just not going to happen.
Yep. It's going to be fun. So I want to thank everyone for joining us for episode 775 of TacoBytes, your daily bites of Degen, talking Tron and Taco with the one and only Cool Runnings. And we'll have him back in like 2 weeks' time once his protocol is up and running. And we're going to do like a walkthrough. We're going to show people how to like get onto Tron. We're going to do all of that fun stuff. Are you down for that?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think people are going to be interested in what we've been working on, and it's all about just keeping it where it's like, again, the narrative, right? So the story behind the NFTs, I think, is what's more interesting to draw people in. Since for now, to be like, okay, I have to have one of these things because they love the story, they like the comic, they like the narrative. It's about them falling in love with it from the beginning. And as I said in the start, it's about how did you find out about pros? It's like, was it through the token? Was it through the comic? Was it through the NFT? Was it through the community in Tron? It's all those different aspects that we'll see at the end of the day. Like, okay, this thing is solid. It's a solid product. It's solid build. It's well done, and let's see what else they have in store. But you kind of like didn't get to ask these questions when Bored Ape was launched. You kind of had to like let everything unfold because it was the first of.
Oh man, it was Clubhouse. I ran so far away from Clubhouse. It's not even funny.
So thankfully they made Twitter Space. It was so crazy. It was like Elon Musk was like, yeah, let's just make Twitter Space. And I was like, we're not gonna go back to Clubhouse.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing. It was like nobody went back to Clubhouse after that. It's like nobody went back to Clubhouse, bro. It's like
I deleted my I don't think I deleted my Clubhouse account, but I might have.
You might have deleted the app and not the account, but yeah. Nobody.
I think it sat so dormant in my phone that my phone like put it into deep sleep and was like, you're not like, we're just turning off all the permissions. You don't like this app.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's just once there was a Twitter Space, there was no going back. It was the best. It was kind of like, which doesn't happen, but it was kind of like Coca-Cola stealing a Pepsi idea and just running with it, or Pepsi taking the Coca-Cola idea and running with it, right? Because Clubhouse came first, but at the same time, Twitter is a bigger behemoth, more users, more audience, more of everything. It just ran with it, bro. Like, it worked. It was actually probably supposed to work for Twitter. It was just a test with Clubhouse.
Yeah.
It was just a test with Clubhouse, and Elon was like, "Yeah, let's just take our piece and go."
Yep.
So thank you, man. Again, once we have more things completed, for sure, it's going to be a lot of things out there in the public space as well. Let's just stay tuned and keep tight, because I don't like to count my eggs before they're hatched. I like to just be right on time with the chicken.
I like to scramble all my eggs.
Exactly.
Yep. All right. So cool. How we end this space the same way. We've done it 774 times, and you get, since you were up on stage, you get to help us doing it. 10 seconds, final thoughts and words of wisdom.
Live life to the fullest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard him. Live life to the fullest. And our words of wisdom are always the same. A closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth, meaning if no one knows you're looking for opportunity can never come a knocking. If opportunity does come knocking and no one answers, it's going to keep on walking. With that, we wish everyone the greatest night. And as we end this episode, we end it the same way we've ended every episode, with the greatest, worst knock-knock joke on the face of the planet. We have told this joke 774 times, and you get to hear it for the 775th. If this is your first time, thank you. Welcome for coming. We will see you tomorrow. This is the best show you've never heard of, because we are consistently inconsistent, but daily. And cool. Are you ready for this?
Let me hear it.
Knock, knock.
who's there.